Hey guys, 2Legit City here. Today the game of Oxygen not included, we're going to be talking about how to deal with the magma ocean on the top of the asteroid if you guys are playing on the flipped asteroid from the Space Down DLC. If you guys are not familiar with the flipped asteroid, the characteristics are it takes the magma core that would otherwise be at the bottom of the map and puts it at the top. This serves as an obstacle that's going to be pretty difficult to deal with since it is over 1400 degrees Celsius of liquid magma, and a lot of the times this is going to be a scary challenge for a lot of people. But today we'll show you guys how to deal with the magma in a quick and easy method that stores the magma and everything you need to do this safely. Now before we get into the build and design, let's talk about some of the requirements for this, as these are going to be something you guys have to have access to or else you're not going to be able to build the design. First thing is access to steel. We're going to be dealing with magma, hot temperatures, easily over 1400 degrees Celsius. So you guys need to have access to steel for some of the automation wires and doors for the refined metal things. And if you guys don't have steel, the build doesn't work as some of the things will melt. So you guys need to have access to steel. 2, I would recommend having Atmo suits. And also make sure you guys do not have any duplicates utilizing the oxygen mask. The oxygen mask is going to allow your dupes to breathe out in the vacuum environment, and since we're working in the vacuum environment, I would rather have Atmos suits accessible. Make sure all oxygen masks are not going to be utilized on and all checkpoints turned off, as that will easily break the build. Third thing is the ability to mine abyssalite and obsidian. You're going to need to do this, as we're going to be cracking into the obsidian for today's design. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is find a location. You're going to have to choose a location to build the magma storage design, and it doesn't matter where it is. In my case, I'm choosing to tap on it from the side because we want to grab the liquid sulfur geyser. So what you're going to want to do in either case, whether or not you're building off to the side or you're going to have it in the center. I don't have a tiled room built, as we're just using a corner between the abyssalite, but you could very easily build a smaller room design than using a large space like we are. After you have that small space built into a room with some tiles, you're going to want to pump out the gases in there and take out any of the solids that off gas. While pumping out the gases though, what you're going to want to do is get a gas reservoir, and you're going to want to try to capture 2 separate elements. The elements just have to be 2 different ones, and as you can see right here, we're utilizing polluted oxygen, and oxygen is our 2 elements. Elements don't matter, the amount or mass does not matter either, and the temperature does not matter. Just make sure you have it in the gas reservoir, and we get on to the next step. Now the next thing you're going to want to look for is finding a good spot to tap into the magma. So gravity means, the magma pushes down, and you're going to want to tap into the body of magma from the bottom. So if this was an example of an ocean of magma, we're going to tap into it here, as the magma will spill and push itself out, and we'd be able to capture it a lot easier. Now there's going to be an additional thing you're going to have to check out. You're going to want to try to force a 1 tile gap for the magma to spill laterally to the left or right into. That means you cannot tap into the magma straight down like that. You're going to want to look for a 1x tunnel to the left or right. This usually means you're going to try to find something like this, where you have the abyssalite that's going to act as a ceiling for that initial tunnel that you build. But regardless, you need to have this so that the design does not break. In our case, we're going to be tapping into the large body of magma right here on these 2 tiles. Now once you have the location, and you're going to be digging into the abyssalite as close as you can, you're going to want to get about this close, and then you're going to want a tunnel that goes straight to the left or right. So what you're going to want is this exact design. Ideally, there's going to be 3 tiles of space here. Bottom tile is going to be where the magma is going to be. We have 3 steel airflow tiles in case the magma solidifies on the tile, because it makes contact with the gases or the door or something like that, and we get solidified igneous. That would easily melt something like copper airflow tiles, but it is something that's not going to run into any other problems outside of that. So you could risk it with copper if you want. Safety thing means to just use steel. Now above that, we're going to need 2 tiles space for gas. And this is why we have a steel gas vent there with obsidian pipes. None of these will melt in the gases touching the hot magma, and I would recommend this built out of obsidian, this built out of steel. Of course, if you don't happen to have abyssalite on the top tile, just build an insulated tile. If I didn't have this here, this would also be an insulated tile. And we're going to also need 2 doors. you're going to want to leave one tile of space immediately to the right of the top tile of gas, and then to the right of this tile, you want a steel mechanized airlock connected to a signal switch. This is going to be the fail-safe. I hope nothing bad goes wrong, and if something does, I could close the door just in case. And you're going to want another manual airlock on this side. This could also be mechanized airlock, but to save on steel, we just chose to use a manual one. Now, once you have this design ready, you're going to want to set up your gas pipes like this as well. Build close and don't connect it so that once we are ready into the next step, we could easily release the gases whenever we need to. All right, the next step is going to be the priming step. So let's get to it. We're going to want to tap into the Abyssalite, max priority so it gets done sooner than later. And then a quick overview. Magma's going to be spilling out. We're going to want that to happen, and we're going to want to spill it out on these 4 tiles. Once it spills into the airflow tiles right here, we're going to want to shut the door and then build a tile over here. That's all going to be necessary steps, and we're going to need to do this relatively quickly. So we'll show you guys when to pause, what to do, and all the motions for everything that needs to get done. So now that our duplicate's here, Staff, she's going to mine through the Abyssalite. We go through both of these, and then we'll take her out to safety. Alrighty. There it is. We gotta leave. We're gonna want to click on the signal switch. We're gonna want for a specific spill animation. Once it's seen, there it is, we'll pause, and then we'll shut the signal switch. If you do this too late, you're gonna get 2 stacks of magma, in which case I recommend loading your save from earlier. And once this is done, you're gonna need a insulated tile here, made out of whatever you need. In most cases, it's not gonna get too hot, so mine's made out of igneous. But for the most case, if you're scared, you could use obsidian, which is right there. Now, once this gets built, we could release the gases immediately afterwards. So this shouldn't take too long, as my duplicate should be coming in. There we go. He stepped in the magma. That's a lot of damage. And he didn't take any damage. And with that, this is done. So we're going to close the door. You can actually lock it as well if you're scared. And we're going to want to actually connect the gas pipes. Once the gas pipes is connected, we'll have the gases released. And there we have it. That's actually the design. We have 2 gases right here, and we have a liquid right here and right here. Now, all we need to do now is turn on the signal switch, and we'll see the ocean drain. And just like that, you could see that this rapidly increases, going up as fast as possible, stacking all the magma. So you could see that we have a large ocean of magma. Right now it's cycle 281-ish, and let's see how long it takes to drain all of this. So we're gonna have a quick time lapse to see how it's gonna look like. Alright, and we're done. That took about 8 cycles. We started at 281, now we're at 289, and we stored about 1.4 million kilograms of magma into the tile. It did take a good amount of time to empty it out, but as you can see, that process did not require any duplicate operation or anything. The colony was basically able to just function on its own while this was doing its own thing over the course of the 8 cycles. Now the time will vary due to the amount of magma you're going to want to store in, but you can see that we're safely just stored in the magma. At this point, if you're not expecting any more magma to be piled on, I would actually recommend closing the door. And the reason why is because although you have insulated tiles and abyssalite right here, it's not perfect insulation. The abyssalite started off at 30 degrees when this started, now it's heated up by 12 degrees. And because of that, and the insulated tile touching the magma, this is going to slowly tick down, and the moment it becomes igneous, it's going to solidify, allowing the gas to expand. So that's actually another reason why we needed this door there on the automation switch. And very easily, in the case that you have more magma, the door is going to be able to withstand the temperatures, so you can allow it to accumulate. Now to tap into the magma for thermal energy, this is storage. Now you guys might be wondering, how do I tap into this then? Once we have it into the infinite pressure storage design, can we actually get it out? We're going to show you the safe way to do that, and what you're going to need to do first is pick a side. The left side, right side, or the bottom side. And what you're going to want to do is do this. If you're going to be doing it on the bottom, it has to be these 2 tiles. If it was on the left and right, it'd be these 2 or these 2. What we're doing is we're going to replace the airflow with a 3 thick wall. In our case, the only thing that the liquid is worried about is the pressure going down this way. It's not going to be diagonal anyway, so by replacing the airflow tile with a steel tile, we'll be able to extract the thermal energy onto the tiles, and then we can just build a steel mechanized airlock and start transferring the energy into a steam room. So we're going to be building these 2 with steel first, and then we'll show you exactly what it is you need to do for this. There's a little bit of a trick to do it safely. So we're going to have our duplicants come in and build this. You can see we're on 3x speed right now. The trick for this, to replace the tile without actually worrying about any of the magma breaking free, is to actually do it on 1x speed, and we'll show you guys right now. If you guys do it on medium or fast, a little bit of the magma actually falls down and spills over. So you're going to want your duplicate to supply it and build it at the 1x speed. You can see that the igneous solidified in this time span, which is why we had the door there. So by allowing your duplicates to do this at the slowest speed, we replace the tile and the ticks to register that happen, and none of the liquid actually falls down. So the steel from the airflow tile gets pushed up, but you can see now that the metal tiles are absorbing the heat. And with that, guys, that has been how to easily store all the magma in the magma ocean on the top of the flipped asteroid. If you guys have any questions about this, leave a comment down below. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and of course, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, guys.